What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Compin Atlanta, episode 7. It's so good to be with you guys and girls, getting ready to rock and do what we do best. And I only have one question for you. Why haven't we done a deal together yet? So, today's going to be a really good episode. We got a bunch of people joining on. It's going to be fun. We're going to do what we always love to do around this time, which is comp Atlanta properties. Now, why are we comping Atlanta? Why are we comping Georgia properties? It's very, very simple. No matter where you go in the world, you'll hear one thing for sure, is that Atlanta is an amazing marketplace. And that is 1,000% factual. Atlanta has almost everything that you could possibly want, to be honest with you. I mean, you have the different types of individuals that are here, different food. We have the movie industry. We have music. We have health. We have a lot of government things. Like, listen, Atlanta is it. And so because of that reason, right? Like if you look at it, even from the touristic side of things, because of that reason, it makes moving around and doing different things in Atlanta kind of crazy because you're like, yo, like, what's good? Like, why is this property worth this much and this property is worth total opposite? And we'll get a little bit into that today. So definitely shout out to some of my folks locking in live with me. I got Ralph, what's up, boy? Let's get it, man. It's ready to kill it. PJ, what's going on? Super excited, man. This is going to be really, really good. We'll get started in just a minute. I do want to kind of give some more insight really quick on some of the things that we're doing and why we're doing it, right? If you guys aren't aware, there's a group that we started called Atlanta REI Real Estate. So basically, right, Atlanta REI Elite Connections. And the whole purpose of that, we actually had another group, it's called Atlanta Joint Venture, and we made it even bigger. We made it even better. What we're doing is we're creating a community, so to speak, right? Like we're creating a space where you truly can get involved and connect with other individuals and do business together, like legit. You know what I mean? Like not like going to one of these places and then like not understanding what's happening and it's like it feels kind of cliquish. No, we're not doing any of that. We're legit building and we've done events. Some are free and some are paid. In fact, the only ones that are paid that you have to pay for is the ones that we actually are going to go deep dive into a particular topic, right? So, for example, the last one we did, we talked about creative financing, we talked about multifamilies, and we talked about gator lending and how to be able to use gator lending to separate yourself as a wholesaler. And so that was a really big topic. Those are really three big topics by itself. We dove deeper into that one and made it even better. We have other events that are just free. We have networking events. And every time we do an event, it's always at like a cool, dope place. I mean, like Atlanta, again, has the areas, has the locations for it. But the other thing that we do is Cash Buyer Fridays, which I've got to make sure everybody understands the concept behind Cash Buyer Fridays. It's not that it's so difficult. I mean, it's something that I was told to do. Somebody told me, a mentor of mine was like, hey, listen, you need to go make sure that you're friends with your cash buyers that's on your cash buyers list. And at the time, I had a crazy cash buyers list. I still do. But at the time, my cash buyers list was stupid big. Like I was upwards in like 30,000 different cash buyers. Now my cash buyers list is not that big because I pay attention to my cash buyers, what they're doing, when they're buying, when they're not. I know my cash buyers by first name basis. We go out to eat, we go hang out. It's a great relationship that I've built with my cash buyers. And how did I do that? Simple. I did that by going to a cash buyer's property or their home or their office every single Friday. There's a great book that says Never Eat Alone by Brian Tracy, I believe. It's how you build and how you connect and do all those things. But that's exactly what we did. I didn't eat alone and I was out. And what did I do? I connected with cash buyers. And what did I do when I was there? I went and found out, like, hey, what are you doing? What are you buying? How are you buying? Why are you buying there? I went to their projects, talked to their GCs. I found out my numbers was way off when I was talking about repair costs because I had no real understanding because I was just using the regular numbers that we all get from the internet, right? Take this, times it by the square footage. But guess what? That's different in different markets. And not only is it different in different markets, especially here in Atlanta, depending on where you at, one side of the street, that number could be different from the other side of the street. And so that's what Cash Buyer Fridays is. Now, here's the ticker. I'm going to give this sauce in the first 10 minutes of this podcast here, right? The ticker is if you show up to just 5 Cash Buyer Friday events that we do, right? So far, we've done one. I'm just going to list the last couple. We did one with Todd the Investor, a townhouse deal that he did over in Lawrenceville. We done one with Abraham Gray. We did a regular house, small single family house, Abraham Gray, and we did a multi-million-dollar house with Abraham Gray that they were working on over in Sandy Springs. And so the point I'm trying to get you guys to see is like, hey, if I just show up to these events, I'm going to get access to the cash buyer that's presenting, that's there. I'm going to get access to their GC that's showing me, like, here's what we spent. Here's why we spent that money. Now I know how to be able to take that information and use it to make it even better. But here's the other thing. At these events, you know who else shows up? Of course, other wholesalers, which is great for networking. Of course, agents, which is great for networking. And of course, other cash buyers. In fact, at the last event, the townhouse that we did with Ty was presenting his property with his partner. Shout out to them boys, Property Jet guys. And yet we had 6 other cash buyers that was at the event. So you could have literally showed up like some of the people that was there, got a hold of all the cash buyers that was there, including myself. And now you got 6 cash buyers that you can go out and find properties for instead of going out to find properties and now looking for a cash buyer, which can be difficult, especially in this day and age that we're in. So let's talk about it. I know you guys notice the difference. You see my man, Big Al Pacha. That's what I call him. I got him in the back here. And I don't know if you can see his face or not, but he got a screw-looking face. He's like, yo, what's really good? This is what investors are looking like right now in the market. It's kind of crazy because the market looks just like this, believe it or not. And here's the thing. Why is the market looking like? Well, there's a bunch of things that's been coming down the pipeline, and it just so happened to start playing its role. But the most important thing about that is, what are you going to do about it? Is this the time to just say, hey, you know what? The gig is up, time to roll. Or do you dig down deeper? There's a quote that Warren Buffett says, when there's blood in the water is when you go shopping. When there's blood in the streets is when you go shopping. And he meant that towards the stock market, right? But you actually have that through everything. When there's chaos going on, that's when you learn to pivot and when you learn to be able to do more in the marketplace. So check this, what I'm saying. At this moment, should you be trying to do everything and anything? I absolutely think that is the wrong way to go about it. At this moment, you need to be focused on 1 or 2 things that you can become amazingly great at and just do those things. I'm serious. 1 or 2 things that you can just like really just be focused on and be like, all right, look, this is what I want to be known for. This is how I make it happen. And just rock out on those things. And I promise you what's going to happen is you're going to get to the point that most people never get a chance to get to. And I'll give you some examples of what I mean. But before I do, make sure if you want us to comp a property that you have, go ahead and text that number you see at the bottom. Scrolling through, it's going to be there all day, all night. And we'll be able to get that number. It comes directly to my phone, and I'll be able to look it up and go ahead and hook you guys up with the free comp. Now, here's why this is a big deal, okay? This is a big deal because if you're trying to build this business by yourself, It's going to be extremely difficult for you, especially with what's coming down the pipeline in the next 18 to 24 months. It just is. In fact, if you don't have the right capital or resources to be able to really make a difference in this market, it's going to be difficult. Is it going to be impossible? No. But it will be difficult for sure because it's going to be one of the most trying times that we've seen since one of the great marks. All right. Hey, shout out to my guy Omar. What up, bro? So what you got to do is learn to be really good at, and I'm gonna give you a couple of things you can be really, really good at. I'm gonna give you three because I don't like giving a bunch of information and then you're not able to do anything with it, and I don't like giving you rah rah. Okay, what I mean by rah rah for all my island people, what's up? What I mean by that is I don't like giving you a bunch of stuff to make you feel good, feel hype, and then at the end of the day you're gonna go home and you still broke. Or tomorrow, none of the information I gave you, you can make money from. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you three main things. If I were in your position, I'm either brand new or I haven't closed the deal yet. I'm gonna give you three main things that you can do that's gonna wedge your way in. Thing number one is what we're doing right here, comping. If you learned how to comp and be one of the, like I'm talking about, like I can get a comp down in 2 minutes flat. It is a key to open a door into anyone's organization. I guarantee it. If somebody came to me right now and be like, hey, listen, I want to comp for you and your partner, can I just comp properties and you guys teach me the game and can I earn money from it? Come on through. You hired, right? Here's why that's important. Comping properties is the first stage in learning how to underwrite a deal. If you know how to underwrite a deal, you even higher quality in a real estate company. Do you understand that in mortgage companies, they have an underwriting department? That's all these individuals do. And so if you're able to learn how to underwrite those, you're going to be in a greater position, especially if you know creative, but we'll talk about that in a second. But here's the thing. Let's say you don't know how to underwrite. It's no biggie. Start with comping. This is why on our platform, we use Zillow to comp. We're going to use MLS. We've used PropStream. Today, we're going to be using Privy and showing you guys how to be able to comp using these different platforms. Because it honestly doesn't matter which platform you use. What it matters is, can you comp using that platform that's available to you? So your budget doesn't matter. And you guys can squat up on things to be able to use these services to get it done. So comping, learning how to comp, let that be one of your specialties, straight up. Number two thing that you can use, and this isn't in any big order, but the second thing I would say is you should learn creative financing. Learning how to creative finance will help you in your business. Probably right now you see everybody talking about, oh yeah, you gotta learn creative finance. First of all, creative finance is not that easy to do. You legit have to be you have to really deep dive, indulge yourself. You have to be ready and comfortable with being uncomfortable in order to get to that place so that you can pick these up and start practicing. Because some of this stuff legit is kind of scary. It will scare the living thing out of you, okay? Because you're learning total new concepts, especially if you already have a real estate backing. So if you're a real estate investor, if you're an agent, if you a broker, even real estate attorneys that don't fully understand what we know as individuals that know how to do creative financing. So learning how to do creative financing or learning from someone who knows how to do it I call that the trampoline. It's going to take you to a whole different place over the next 18 to 24 months and beyond, right? And then here's the thing. The third thing I would say, like if you want to learn something, you want to understand, is there's a position in the business called lead manager. Now, some people's business have that combined, right? If it's a lead manager, they normally combine that with the position of being a cold caller. Now, a cold caller's job is to be able to see who here is raising their hand when I ask a question, are you interested in selling your property? And they might not even be on the top of their head. They might not even know right now that they're looking to sell their property. But the point is, if they raise their hand, then I get some details from them, and then I pass that lead along. Now, some businesses, they pass it to an acquisition manager. Some businesses, they pass it over to a lead manager. And what a lead manager does, a lead manager is the individual that has the conversation with the seller and gets more details and puts them in alignment. Because there's three buckets a seller could always be in. One, they're ready to sell right now. Two, they're not ready to sell right now, and they might be ready to sell anytime between tomorrow, right? Or I'll be facetious, but sometime in the future or sometime in the far distant future. So that could be 6 months to a year. Here, I'll give you an easy example right here. One of my teammates earlier today sent me a message and said, here, I just had an old lead reach out about and then the property address here in College Park, right? It's a 1-1. No one's been there for about 4 years. She says it's an old lead, but we had it in our database. We were following up on it, and they called us back. And she was surprised. She was like, I didn't even realize that they remembered. That's the game. It's part of following up. But the point is, the lead manager position will be the individual to gather the information and put those leads that the cold caller gets into one of those boxes. Now, if they're ready to sell right now, they send the lead over to the acquisitions, where the acquisitions person will come in, make the offer, get on the contract, and guide them through the next stages. If they're not ready to sell, then it won't go to acquisition, and the lead manager person will put them on a drip campaign to follow back up with them. Because they might be ready to sell in 30 days, or they might have a particular situation before they are able to sell it. So they need time or need help with that. The lead manager will handle that. Because your acquisitions, typically, you want your acquisitions only making offers all day, every day. That's it, right? They come in, go for the kill. So a lead manager position is extremely powerful and important in the company. If it doesn't have a lead manager, then typically the same thing would be a cold caller. They just added those together. I feel like that's another position that is turnkey, open a door for you to get into anybody's business as long as you're willing to learn, work, and be consistent. Because you got to show up. Even if you get in the door and you're able to do something, if you're not willing to consistently, hear my words, consistently show up every single day, right? If you're not willing to consistently show up every single day, then it's never going to work. And that's just how it is in anything. My motto is how you do one thing is how you do everything. So those are the three things, three positions, three roles. You can pick one or the other. And I promise you, it will get you to the next step, to the next level, because that's exactly what you need. You need to be able to figure out, hey, how can I get in this game? How can I get better? Either I'm not getting the results or I'm new. I would tell you, learn to be a lead manager for a company. I would tell you, learn creative financing. And I would definitely tell you the first one so that you guys can be able to learn how to comp. And this is what we're doing today. So we're going to get juicy, get right into it. I'm going to give a shout out to my peoples over on Instagram real quick. Let's see this. Let's go live real fast. We'll live real fast. See what's popping up. And let our people join us. And here's the other thing I want to be able to say, like we're doing this and we're giving value, getting value. I want to be able to help people do the same thing. So if you guys know somebody who could be benefiting from this, definitely for sure, send them the link, have them join, let them get started, get them connected so that they could be able to learn as well. All right, hold on. All right, boom. Let's get it popping. So let's start with our first thing. Today, we're going to be using this software that I'm sure you guys have heard of. And I may have some people join me on here today, actually. It's going to be cool. This is what my guy Ralph said. He says, I typically pitch a deal. If somebody's interested, I call Abraham or Eddy or Abraham. It's my guy Ralph, man. Yeah, we do tons and tons and tons of JV type of deal. If anybody has a deal, they're interested and want to get to work on something, like we put it in. So let's get started, man. Let's get to it. Shout out to all my people that's joining from all over. Appreciate it. We are live on Compin Atlanta. If you're on Instagram, jump on YouTube or through Facebook. You can join on my Facebook page, or you can join through Atlanta Elite REI, Atlanta Elite Connections. You'll be able to find us there. So it's gonna be dope. Let's get it popping. All right. So our first property that we're gonna do is gonna be on this project called Privy. And let me first share my screen, show you guys what's up. So how many people here have Privy or have used Privy before? Put something in the chat saying if you did or you got some experience with it. And also tell me how you like it. If you use Privy, you had it before, tell me what's your thoughts on it. All right. All right, so we're all logged in. Share my screen with the good folks. All right, my guy Jones said he likes Privy so far. But I think Privy is dope. Listen, when I first got started, man, I really was of the sound mind of like, you know what? It gotta be one main thing that I use, and everything else is trash. And I've learned to understand that that's really not the game. It's not how it's supposed to be played. You got to be able to be good and use whatever system is necessary and whatever system you have available to you, right? And so that's what I've learned to do. And now it doesn't really matter what system I have. I'm going to be able to comp. I'm going to use a comp. I'm going to do what I can do. All right. All right. So let's jump into this address that we got. So the first address is coming from my guy. Hold on. Let me. All right. I didn't want to put it up. Wait. My guy T said, "Yep, it's too dope and easy to use." Yeah, for sure, man. It's like the Apple version, I think, of all these programs, right? Clean, cut, simple, and what's better than that, right? All right, so let's start with our first address. In fact, I'm gonna see if I can get my guy to come on. I don't know if you're in a spot that you can. Ralph, if you're able to come on with us, I have you come through and talk to us about the deal. I'll send you the link. You can join us. Just chat and type in the chat. Let us know. Kyle, what's going on, my guy? The guy Kyle. If you guys know Kyle, he's legit. If you need any help on anything, he's probably one of the biggest go givers that I know. Definitely reach out to him, hook him up, show the man some love. In fact, Kyle, put your all right, I'm gonna send you the link, Ralph. Kyle, put your info, put like IG or something like that, so I can put it on the screen. All right, so we get started. I'm gonna share this over to my guy real quick. All right, I got my guy Ralph. Hit him up. I'm sorry, my guy Kyle. Hit him up. Ralph, I'm texting you that message right now, actually. All right, so here's the address as we wait for Ralph to jump on. 308 Winding Woods. Now, typically, what I like to do whenever I jump in on getting ready to comp, the most important thing for me is to make sure it's apples to apples. That's literally the most important thing. Well, I got it there earlier today. Young lady is looking to, in fact, shout out to all my Astro flippers. So this came through when my guy Dion connected me with this young lady, and they are looking to work this deal. An agent listed her property, and she obviously wants a little bit too much for it. We're going to negotiate and kind of see what we can do there. But she's open to creative terms, which is perfect as long as we can get the terms that makes the most sense, right? But the lead came from our Astro flipping sister. So shout outs to her. And we're going to see what we can make happen. All right. See my guy Ralph in here. Ralph, what up, bro?
What's up? How's it going?
What's good? Everything's fantastic, man. How you?
I'm great. I am great. I just got off work and now I get to put my wholesaler slash investor hat on. So
Let's
this is
do it. Let's
part of
do it, man. Let's get it. You see, I'm ready to work. I got my hat on backwards, so I'm in grind mode.
it.
Yo, shout out to my guys joining in. My guy Rich, what's up, man? Also, D's, what's up, bro? If you guys want to see or can't see as good, definitely join on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Compin Atlanta. You'll be able to see what we see here on the screen, or follow us on Facebook. So, Ralph, tell us a little bit about the deal.
All right. So this is actually I spoke with the seller's son because the sellers are actually elderly and it's funny they think everyone that's calling them to try to buy their house is a scammer. So the son has started taking the phone calls now. Son is a licensed contractor, so he's more familiar with what we do. In this case, parents have lived there since the house was pretty much, I think, close to built. I mean, if they moved in maybe a couple years after. So I think they've lived there since the late 80s. It has a brand new roof that was installed in the last year, but pretty much everything else needs to be redone and updated because it's pretty much still in the 80s. Um,
Okay.
so initially, when I started this conversation with the son, he said that the parents' goal was they wanted to take this money, buy an RV, and travel the country for retirement. And we kept talking,
Nice.
talking, and talking, and he actually let something slip towards the end of the conversation, where he said that I just want to get cash sum out of this because I also want to pay off some of their debt to get the creditors off of them because they keep getting phone calls. So
Okay.
a little bit deeper motivation, deeper pain than they had let on. And then he also let me know that his mom had had a brain injury in the last 2 years, some sort of a traumatic brain injury, which I work at a hospital. I actually treat people that have those all the time. So I was able to utilize that to talk to him about it a little bit more and understand what was going on. So mom does need she's functional, but she has some cognitive issues. And so I have a feeling that a lot of the bills he's talking about were medical.
Okay.
So,
All
but
right.
so they're hoping to sell, as soon as they have. He says he has an. Here's the interesting part. He says he has an offer already at about 315 or 310, which makes no sense because when I comp this, I'm getting around 320 as an AR.
Right.
So, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Because so this is I like this property a lot actually because this is always like the best thing, right? You type in that thing and then you see no comps, and you're like, oh damn, like what am I supposed to do now, right? And this is why, again, like using one product to comp sometimes is going to be in your best interest. So, but let's say all you had access was to this as a paid thing. What would we do? First thing I would do is I would make sure my settings are on point on this, right? So I would come down and try to pay attention to, are we at half a mile? Are we at a mile? Where are we? So you come in here, go into your filter, and Privy has a bunch of stuff. I don't want to take too much time going over like all the extra stuff that they have. But if you have Privy or you want to get some more details on it, definitely go to YouTube and just type it in. There's a bunch of people that's showing you exactly how to get more details on it. So what I want to do is I want to look for fix and flip properties, and I want to do ARV, and we'll do 70% right now. I get in there. Perfect. All right. And then let's see if we can also type. All right, so timeline is past 6 months. We'll leave that where that is. And let's see what other filters that we could use. All right, so status is that. Because we changed it to fix and flip, we should see sold come up. But in case we don't, I'll just make sure that I keep that in mind. So, but here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna click on pending. Now, why am I clicking on pending? One of the main reasons why I'm clicking pending, Ralph, we talked about this yesterday. So, Ralph, why am I clicking on pending? Why would I look at pending comps now?
Because it'll give us a better or more accurate version of how the market's looking today. What are people making offers at? What are people selling for right now?
Exactly.
There's some sold
Exactly.
up there. Like when we did that yesterday, we were looking at a different house and there had been stuff sold in the last 6 months that had gone for 350, 370. And then when we
Hmm.
put in the pending, started seeing most of the things were pending for like 260, 280.
Right. Yep. So perfect right there. So far I don't see anything that's popping off here. So let's do sold and see what other details that we get. All right, so still nothing in the immediate area. So what I would wait, hold on. There you go. One just popped up. Let's see. So this one here sold for 435. All right, here we got all of them right here. See, look at this. I didn't have this clicked, so that's my bad. So here's investor activity, nothing, and here's all activity, and we'll see all the comps come up. So here we got two sold properties. We got one that sold for 344. This one sold for 375. So those are good. I always look at those numbers first. But then I want to make sure I look at everything else, right? So here's my subject property here. First thing I want to pay attention to is bedroom and bath. Because if the bedroom and bathroom are off, it doesn't kill the deal for me, but it does make me look at things a little bit differently. So bedroom and bath is perfect. This one has an extra bath. It's not that big of a difference, but I do pay attention to it. Square footage seems to be also perfect for this one. We'll let it slide. But if I had other comps that was closer to the square footage, I would use that instead, right? This one right here is telling me it's 1054. Our subject property is 1776. And this one right here is 24. So this, to me, is way too big. All right. So this wouldn't be a comp for me. But let's keep going. Let's see what else is popping. And now this also could be this way. Now I want to point something out. So you see this square footage. Now let's look at the year date. 1985. Our property is 87. So technically, this is a great comp. Like, the only thing could be better than this if it was actually the same year. But why is the square footage so much different if they were being built around the same time frame, right? This is why we use comps, because typically houses don't really change in the style that they're being sold, or I'm sorry, style that they're being built. They normally do every 10 years. You may have a 5 to 7 year where something changes, but typically every 10 years you get the same style of homes being built, right? So this one here is being built in the same price point. I mean, same year built area. So it should be similar. Why is this so much bigger? I would argue and say possibly because this has a basement.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right? So because that's what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah. So because this has a basement, that's why you have that. So because of that, I would still use this as a comp. I would just keep in mind that this sold for more because it had a basement. It has like maybe 800 square feet more. That's the basement. All right. So we'll keep that in mind. I want to come out of here and select all this so I can get the MLS stuff. So let's see if it gives it to me. I wish do you have any pictures of this one?
Not yet. He's going to be sending them soon.
Okay. All right. So here's one property here. So there's a bunch of property here. So our property is right here. This white one right here. Now let's go through our rules of comping, right? So we can't take anything that crosses a major street. Now, this Bell's Ferry is a major street, and also, unfortunately, look like our comp that we liked is over on the other side of that road. So technically, this isn't going to be a comp. Even though everything else was Gucci and matched, it was perfect. Once you see that crosses this major road right here, you got to make the llama face and just call it a day. All right, it is what it is. All right, but now you have this one here that's currently look like it's getting ready to be sold for 345. That could possibly be a comp. Let's see. Here, this one's active. So here's the active properties. We got 1987, 1990, 96, 76. So 1996 will not work for us. 1987 could possibly work. I'm sorry. The 1990 will work. work. The 1996 could possibly work. The 1976 will not work. All right. I hope you guys are getting that. It's just way too old that it won't classify as a good comp. Also, it has an exit bedroom and an exit bath, so it's definitely not going to matter. It won't be a good comp. But here we see this one is active for 345. This one is active for 226. Now, what I would do is I would look to see first how long has they been listed, right? If it's been longer than 2, 3 months, then we know this is a buyer that's probably trying to catch on the. If you sell your market, if you list your property, it'll sell tomorrow, and they missed the boat, right? So now it's just sitting. This one's been sent for 29 days. This one's been sent for 24 days. So I keep that in mind. But let's look at what's pending. Here's one that's pending. 1997 build, so it hits our 10-year, right? And then we have here 285, what it's sold for. And where is this property? This property is right there, 285. So this could be considered a comp. It has a less bedroom than ours. So, and the square footage is just way, way small, obviously, because of comp. So I don't necessarily know if I would actually use this as a comp. Granted, this is pending, so we wouldn't use it anyway, but we would gather data from it, right? We see a two is selling for 285. Now, let's go to sold, and let's see what we got that actually sold and when did it sell. So in fact, what we could do is we can click on this right here and look up the most recent ones that sold. So we want all the 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. So here's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1990. So that works for us. This one sold for 308. Look at that one. Okay, that's this property right here. And our property, always make sure you look to see if your property match, right? So if it's brick, you want to match it with brick. If it's something else, you want to match it with whatever that matching thing is. So this would match. Sold for 308. And it just sold early part of last month. The one thing I don't necessarily like about Privy is that Privy doesn't really give you too many pictures. Like you don't get the access to it. I used to love that about PropStream. They kind of like did away with that or whatever it is that they did. I think the only people who have it now is Realtor.com will give it to you sometimes. And obviously if you have access to the MLS. All right, so here's another property, 344. Brittany, let's see, where are you? 344. This one already sold. There it is right here. Okay, so this could be used as a comp. Pretty decent. 3.2 as well, 1990. So this is a good comp for you right here. That's brother. And how much did the seller want for this?
He hadn't fully disclosed the price yet. He just said he had an offer at 310. So that's where we were at. We haven't really started negotiations yet. I've only had a couple conversations with him.
Okay. All right. So we got a question here. What adjustments do you make in case of the basement adding more square footage? It's a great question. It kind of differs, just depends. I would say, I actually used to have like a spreadsheet or something. See if I can find it. And I can kind of tell you, but there is a dollar amount that you can kind of like throw in there to make it, just make an adjustment on like, okay, this one has a basement, this one doesn't. I'm gonna take out, X amount of dollars. Let's see if I can find it for you real quick and tell you. All right, so if it's like a basement, the extra square footage. Now there's a precise way to look at it. You take the actual square footage of the basement and you times that by the dollar amount, and then you would basically subtract it from your final ARV price, right? But typically, if you're making adjustments, you want to be able to do for a basement, you're looking at, oh, here it is. So, basement, a guest house, you do 50% of the square foot divided by, so sorry, only give 50% of the dollar for the square foot. So, whatever the square foot is of the property, you would get 50% of that times whatever the square foot of the property equals. So I hope that makes sense. The easiest way to do it, in my honest opinion, is I would take off like 10, 15,000. That's the easiest way to kind of go about that. Same thing for like a bedroom or a bathroom. If they got, if you're dealing with plus or minus, I would take off 10 or 25, depending on is the comp that I'm looking at has a really big bedroom or does it just have an extra bedroom? You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying I can't really give you like an exact number. It's going to be a range. You'd be more precise if you do it dividing or subtracting how much square footage is the difference. But you can just do a range. Same thing with garages well, a garage, I would say 10K. A carport, I would just say 5K. Bedroom, bathroom, 10K. Bathroom, probably 10K. Bedroom, if it's big, 25K. And pool, 10K. All right. So I hope that answered your question, my guy. Of course, of course. Yeah, man. Gotta help her out, man. We're set to talk to her at 6. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. So where we at with this property on the comps? I'm thinking the comp on this property. Now, granted, we haven't seen pictures of the inside of these, right? But and here's another reason why. Let's see. Public record. All right. I'm trying to find one that was sold on market that is a comp that we can use real quick. And I'm gonna show you why in a second. So let's see. So 1987 built, 3295, Pretty Lake. All right, perfect. So this one was sold. It was sold on market. I'm trying to see if I can get the MLS details. So this right here, guys, when I started, I used to rock heavy. I still do with PropStream. And one of the reasons why I did that is because PropStream at the time used to allow the MLS details like Privy does. When Privy got this, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. I learned what the property looks like in detail based off of how I saw the agent wrote the ad. Okay. If the property is fixed up, rehabbed, or something like that, agents typically will sell that. They will put that all into a beautiful, brand new home, brand new this, that, because those are selling points. They're not going to misuse this opportunity for a potential buyer to not know that this house is like almost pretty much or just brand new and you don't have to do much to it, right? But if the property is not and it needs some work, you see the strangest thing advertised. It'd be like shining new fence, or it'd be like new carpet only in the basement, and they won't say nothing about the kitchen or the bathroom, something like that. You already know, like, okay, I kind of know. So here's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to gather, like, okay, now granted, this one gives me pictures, but I don't want to cheat. Let's read what this says and kind of see what we think the comps is based off of this. So if it doesn't have pictures for our next property, and we good. As long as we get the MLS details, we can kind of see what's going on. Same thing with Zillow. Zillow will give you the details of the ad that the agent pulled up. All right. So this one says, looks no further. Absolutely gorgeous renovation. It's a beautiful home. All right. For me, when I start seeing them describe other stuff that has nothing to do with the house itself, that kind of raises my eyebrow. Like if you just told me it's beautifully renovated, why are you telling me about the area? I know the area, right? I'm the one I'm the one that picked the house. I don't need to also know that if this house is near all these things. Like I get that. That's why I picked it, right? Beautiful open floor plan. breakfast bar, dining room, boom, boom. All right, here we go. Here's the good stuff. Fully renovated bathroom, kitchen. All right. So this one is leading me to believe that this property is fully renovated. So let's take a look at these pictures and kind of see what we really get here. All right. Floors look clean. Now, how do you really know if something's like really renovated or not? When you start paying attention to this stuff and you start doing a lot of these, you start to notice it seems like everybody shops at the same place, right? And so you're just gonna start recognizing things that's relatively new, like this is relatively new, this is relatively new. So that's how you kind of know, like, okay, and another thing is pay attention to the black spots, right? So that's how you kind of know, like, okay, yeah, these are pretty decent new. You look for fresh paint. Kitchen, it looks pretty small, but looks really good. Really look good. Here's the bathroom. I mean, how many times have we seen this bathroom right here? You know what I mean? Like, but this is what kind of tells you. I mean, for the most part, investors are all buying the same thing. Everybody typically has the same thing in their house. New floor. All right, so this right here is a really good comp. This is probably what your property could look like if it's all the way fixed up. And it sold. What did this sell? Did I miss it? It sold about 2 months ago. So was that like the tail end of when things started to like woo saw in the market? So what does that mean? Well, for me, I would probably just take off 10% and make that my ARV. So let's just say we had three properties and it came up to we added them all together, then divided by three, right? How they teach you to get the ARV. Once I get that number, I would let's say that number was 344. I would then minus 10%, and that would be my ARV. Because that 10% is my little gap space of reflection of how the market is currently today, as opposed to how it was, 2, 3 months ago. Does that make sense? All right, so that's your comp. I hope nobody has any questions on that. We got some other properties I want to get to too, but that's your comp value right there. Now, what what do you want to offer for the property? What kind of condition is his property in?
It needs a good bit of work, so I'm thinking we need to be getting it in, 210 to 225 at the most.
All right, let's see here. I'm gonna pull out my little calculator.
Which
You
is
said
I was getting AR
210.5.
20. If you subtract 10%, I think that makes that about 310. So it's kind of close.
All right, perfect. That's good. That's good, right? Because then that kind of shows you that you. Because the other thing too is like we don't need to be 1,000% right. You just need to be in a range, right? Once I learned that, that kind of changed the game for me too. Like all I gotta do is be in the range for my buyer to make it make sense, right? So you said 3 10.
320 was what I got, but if you take off 10% of 344, it's going to be about 310.
Okay, well let's meet in the middle, 315. That's not bad though, right? We
Yeah.
did pretty good on that. All right, so 315. If we did 70% ARV, we're looking at 220. Does the roof need to be fixed?
No, that's the one thing that's brand new. It was installed in the last year.
Awesome. What about the electrical? Like electrical and HVAC, does that need to be upgraded?
Probably, especially if you're wanting to put, get the highest market value for it, then yeah, it's a good AC, he said, but I'm sure it's like 15 years old.
Okay. And what about? Do you know if the plumbing is original or not? Or
Most everything is original. They've only done maintenance as needed.
okay. Um, any foundation problem?
No foundation problems.
All right. So I wouldn't necessarily call this like a full gut or a heavy rehab. I would probably say this is maybe average or like light to average. So if I have to guesstimate, you're probably somewhere. Now things are a little bit more expensive now still because it's still hard to get materials and stuff like that, I would probably say you're somewhere in that 65, 70K range on this rehab, right? Now, typically, now let me ask you this, Ralph. What does your cash buyers want to make on a deal?
Generally 15 to 20%, although sometimes they'll go down to 10%. Just
All right.
depends.
Perfect. All right. So if we did 15 to 20%, and for those who don't know what I just asked, what I'm asking Ralph is the relationships you have with your cash buyer, you got to find out, hey, if you were to get a property, you do everything that you do, how much do you typically want to make off of each deal? Sometimes they'll tell you an actual dollar amount, and sometimes they'll tell you I want to make a percentage. And what you do is you take the ARV, and that's what you times a percentage by, and that's going to give you exactly how much that investor is looking to be able to make generally on a deal. So if we took 315 in this particular situation by, let's say, 15%, that investor would probably be looking to make somewhere between like 47,000, right? So that's really cool. That's a good number. Now, Rob, how much money do you want to make on a property? Because we got to take your number into this too.
I shoot for a minimum of 15,000, although if it's tight, I will take 10,000. I'm not complaining.
Okay, so let's start with 15,000. Now, how much did the seller say he wanted again?
He didn't give an exact price. He said he had an offer at 310, and I didn't want to start negotiating until I have pictures, so that
Gotcha.
because if
Gotcha.
if I start doing that now, he's gonna be like, "Well, you're just making offers without looking at it."
Yeah. Which, I mean, is it the same thing with the offer at 310 did? I don't know.
Yeah, but I kind of likes that offer.
Yeah, of course he does. Of course he does. Here's the thing about sellers and when they hit you with I already got, this person offered this, blah, blah, blah. You know how it's so easy to make an offer. Like if I'm sitting here behind my computer and I pick up my phone and I said, I'll offer you 500 grand. Like nothing bad happens to me. I don't get hit by lightning. Cops won't show up. You see what I'm saying? So when somebody makes an offer to a seller, in their mind, somewhere along the way, somebody actually taught them make a high offer, let that get under contract, and then renegotiate it down. Get a haircut on that price. It is the worst way to do business. The worst way. All you're doing is creating a bad name for yourself and your business people that are in the same field with you. What you should be doing is being upfront and honest with yourself. It is better. You don't know how many deals I've got because I was upfront and honest with my seller first before all the other people came with their lies or in the midst of them lying. Because what happened is they either got on a contract and the property didn't sell, or they kept getting these high offers and they realized, like, oh, these people are just bullshit. Like, nobody's really going to buy this. They put it on the contract, then they call me and say, hey, my contractor said X, Y, and Z. I got to break the contract with you. Be the one that's going to be upfront and tell them, I can't buy it at 310. That doesn't make any sense. A fixed up property in today's market will probably sell for 315. Now, 310 could possibly work if we were to buy it creatively, but that's always going to be my pitch, right? Now, I probably would buy a 310 if we were buying it creative. I could possibly even pay him more. It just depends on the condition of the property, right? How much do I need to put into the property to make it start making money for me? But it's a different conversation. Maybe we'll do a different show on creative deals. But what I would say is I would probably offer him max offer, probably like 158, 160. Yeah, I'll probably be like 150. In fact, I'll make it something special. I'll be like, my max. So when I say my max number is, that's not the first number I'm giving them. I'm giving them 2 or 3 numbers before, and then we'll get on the phone and I'm saying, okay, listen, max I could do is 158, 980,017 cents. If I do anything more than that, my wife is gonna kick my ass. I just can't do it. And then regardless of what they say, Ralph, you send the contract. Send a physical contract or an email contract. And what's going to happen is one day he's going to be sitting home and he's going to be like, I still got this damn property. And he's going to see your contract on the table, or he's going to remember you sent the contract and he's going to be like, let me just sign this thing, be done with it. Because he knows that you are being truthful because you gave him a number that you knew made sense. And you said 17 cents, he's gonna be like, this dude did some math. There's no, you know what I mean? Like he was serious about his offer. So that's where I would go with it, bro. I think this was in the bag. I agree with you. I would get the pictures, but I would be upfront and tell them like, hey, listen, I know you got an offer at 310. If that's what you're looking for, I think you should probably go with that offer ASAP because that's an amazing, amazing deal. Properties should be selling for that all the way fixed up at 310. So I'm not sure how they're gonna make money, but if I'm gonna make money off of this deal, and I typically, and I'm upfront. I tell myself, I typically like to make 15%. I'm not trying to hit a home run here. I'm just trying to hit a base hit so I can pay my contractors and bring some home money for me and my family, right? So I can't pay you 310. I'll be normally somewhere around this price point, right? But that's definitely how you should go about it. And of course, if you need help on that one, let me know, and we can hop on the phone with the seller.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right, bet. You got any more for me, bro?
I'll have to dig it up, but yeah, I can send you another one in a second. Do you need more, or do you have?
Yes.
I don't want to get in front of people that are waiting.
No, send them through. You'll be in the cycle. So if we get enough time, I'll jump back into you. But I'm about to do one right now for Kyle, and people are still sending text messages. So we'll see.
Yeah, let's give some other people an opportunity. Thank you so much, Eddie. I really appreciate it.
No problem. No problem, man. Thanks for jumping on.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
All right. All right, bet. So let's do this. Let's jump into our next one. And so, Kyle, this is your property here. So we'll get into it, and let's see what we can get out of this deal. All right, now Kyle, do you currently have this property under contract? Or are you working on it? You got three, 141. Oops, please, Southwest Atlanta. All right. So with this one here, I'm just gonna kind of go through it and then give the ARV and kind of like my thoughts on it. All right. So this one doesn't have an image on it. That sucks. So it's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. Um, all right. So this one's actually listed on the market. Is that right, Kyle? Okay, he got it in. Kyle, are you open right now? Can you jump on here? All right, let's pull the comps up. Let's see what we got. All right, so our property is a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 1950 built. So we're gonna look for that range right there and there. So here's a 2.2. We'll use that. 1960 built, so it's just at the brim. Um, Looks like we don't have much anything else. We can't use the 62. Let's see if I can get Kyle on. Uh, so Kyle, you're saying it sits as a 4.2. Kyle, I'm gonna have to get you on here. I'm gonna send you a message real quick and get you on the chat with us. What's up? Yeah, we're using Privy on this thing, man. Getting it popping using Privy today, showing how we can run comps using Privy. So it's gonna be cool. Kyle, I'm gonna send it to you on Facebook Messenger. So I'm gonna send you the link, Kyle, and then you can just click on it. Let's see here. So while I'm doing that, guys, if you know anybody else who would greatly benefit from what we got going on here, doing business in Atlanta, or want to be able to get better at comping, definitely share this with them. We do this every Thursday at 3 p.m. Here we go. Every Thursday at 3 p.m. We are consistent in doing this because we already know how important it is, right? And this is going to be one of the best things that you can do to try to get into this business with all these new changes that's happening in the marketplace. I promise you that. All right. So Kyle's jumping on, and let's get a little bit deeper into this. So we got two pending properties here. 1960 is one of them, so being sold at 450. But now, Kyle, you said this is a 4.2, so we're gonna have to change our parameters here because obviously it's not giving us that. This one right here, 1962 built, a little bit past our year built, but it's interesting because it used to be a 3.1. They changed it to a 4.2. Kyle, what up, my guy?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, man?
Let me exit out of this one right here. Boom. There we are. Okay. Yeah. So they changed this into a 4.2 here. I don't think it was permitted to be such, but it might be good for a bond holder investor.
Okay. So we got a property here that's actually pending. Let's see how far is it from your property. I'm looking for the pending on the map. I don't see it. That's I'm tripping. All right, so we have this property here that was a 3.1. They turned it to a 4.2.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an older comp, but
this one here.
Oh no, never mind. That's okay. No,
the year built is off.
Okay.
So that might be an issue, but and also it's on the other side of the road. That's why I couldn't find it. It's hiding over here. It's on the other side of the road. But let's look at it, right? Let's see what this thing looks like. So from the offset, this looks really, really good. Let's look at the pictures on this one.
Now there should be some photos on Zillow of our subject property.
Oh, perfect. We'll look that one up. So I don't necessarily think that this area would have any issue from turning our subject property into this property, right? Especially because your subject property is super low. Is it on market?
It is on market, but we are in contract with the seller and the agent involved for the novation. And now we're just trying to lock down what exactly the ARV is before we secure funding for it.
Okay, so this is interesting because, and I'm telling you the address here, because
3140 Mayo, yeah.
This property, you may end up being the ARV.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes it happens, right? Oh man, this is a beauty.
Man, no, there is some more updated photos. Maybe it was on Redfin or something, but they've put a good bit of work into it already.
Okay.
White and black now.
Oh, well, let's see if we can get the new ones on. Hold on.
Let me see. Yeah.
You said it was on Redfin?
Should be, yes. Unless you just recently took them down.
Was it realtor.com?
Yeah, try that.
I see Redfin on here. It might have been Redfin because they got it as a 3.1 on there. But this is another key important thing. You want to make sure that you want to make sure that you are always verifying information. Like I got a buddy of mine sent me a deal today. It's like, yo, I got this property. Let's see what we can do on it. Boom, boom. I'm like, all right, perfect. So he sends it to me. Now he tells me it's a 4.2. When I look up the property, it says it's a 2.1. right? And so it's very important to make sure you pay attention. Okay, what? Yeah, they don't have it either. He probably took it down.
Yeah, it looks like they took the photos down.
All right, so I'm gonna go on your word on this.
Yeah. It essentially looks like this, but it's painted white, and they've done some sheetrock work on the inside. But it still needs probably 60 to 80 to make it top of the market.
All right, so let's try to find some stuff that's over in this area. So you got 2 properties right here, 3 that recently just sold. There are 3 twos. What number is this? This is number 1. This is number 2. That's on the other side of the road. All right, here's a 3-2 that's sold. All right, so we're looking at 190, 180. These are super low, but I'm assuming they sold as is condition. Again, Kyle, I think if you go this route, you're gonna make the comp.
Okay.
So with that being said, you're talking novation. So what's the price point you're promising to the seller?
Yeah. So this one's a little bit different. We locked them in at 115 as a base pay, and then profit split over anything over 250.
Okay, so 115 as a base pay. It's kind of tight, man. I wish this house was on the other side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah, it's off of like a gravel road too. It's, from what I understand, a little less desirable. That's why it's a little hard to comp this one.
Yeah.
But we were thinking the exit strategy may be more so like a group home, considering inspections and stuff. You know, we don't want to have to really deal with all that stuff because we want to get in and out of there. But because obviously with the novation, it's kind of a time crunch, you know. But just kind of weighing options at this point, you know.
Let's do this. Let's create our own thing here, because you see, Privy is giving us a bunch of data that we can't really use, right? And a property like this, we need to be like drilled down. So I would say let's draw this out. Let's come collect all down here. Let's come up here. All right, now let's see what we got. All right, so we got one investor property that sold for 450. All right, so I wouldn't trust this property here. This seems like it was maybe part of a package deal, or there's something here. I would look this up in another source to kind of see why did it sell for 450. Let's see what else. This one sold for 180. But that's the ones we saw before. Yeah, that's tight, man. It's tight. So what I would do is this now. So if this is my scenario, I would backwards engineer this whole thing. What I mean by that is I would get with like a really amazing GC that's local, that's going to give you your scope of work and tell them to like, yo, puff it up. Let me know like, hey, surprise, the foundation's off. Like make sure the price is kind of like buffed for any what ifs. And then work backwards. So if we put, based off of the repairs, if we would put this amount of money into the property, what would we possibly be able to sell it for? And then keep in mind, because of its location, you got to consider your holding costs, because 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to have to sit on that, because it's not a spot people are like, oh, let's go look for a house and let's look for it right here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so you got to take that into consideration. Now, with the way that the market is right now today, I'm not sure that I would recommend you taking something on like that on, because buyers are moving really, really slow.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody's backing out. In fact, there was this, let me show you guys this. So this is my Slack with my team. and I'm gonna show you something that we were talking about just yesterday about here it is right here. Home buyers in that are backing out. And you guys see this?
Yeah.
So you see that? And Atlanta is right here, my guy. Number 17. You see a bunch of Florida, a bunch, right? But does it mean that there's no deals or something like that? No, that's not what I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is just be more cautious that things can just move a lot slower.
Yeah. I guess my main thing at this point is I don't want to overpromise. If we, said, profit split over 250, is 250 even reasonable to think that we may be able to hit that? Now I got, my GC Paul. I think Paul. He does stuff with Abraham and stuff, but he got his guys out there and he gave me a hard number, with materials and labor at 69. I'm going to put the windows and doors in roughly another 10. So we're looking at, 70 to 80. And so, with the 115 base pay, we should be all in about 190. I'm thinking that's closer. Our ARV is 190,
Right. Now, here's a question I have for you guys. I'm about to pull these pictures up. Nick could just send it over to me. Shout out to my guy. So the question I have is, why did you guys offer the 110 to the seller?
Well, we were trying to do it for like 120 cash, and they weren't having it. So we said, how about we lock you in at the 115, and hopefully we could sell this thing for 260, because there was a decent comp that sold a little bit further out right there in that corner of the highway right there. It sold for like 317, 320, something like that. So we were kind of basing it off of that, but we were really wanting to get in and out, because another thing is we gave them a 3-month deadline. And obviously if we're going to get inspectors in there and permits and all that kind of stuff, that can really delay things.
Yeah,
so
sure. Does it need anything like that? That inspectors and permits need to be pulled up?
Well, it looks like someone may have come in and stripped some of the wiring out, so the electrical is probably going to need to be checked on. There's some waves in the floors, and if you look up the ceilings match those waves in the floor. So we could probably do some pier work, jacking it up a little bit. It's on a crawl space. There you go. There's the photos there. But that's what it looks like today. Do a little bit of landscaping, patch up the roof a little bit. Wouldn't replace the whole roof, but I think it can be savable. Got a good roofer and stuff.
Is this part of the property too?
That is the house behind it. Who we've been trying to get a hold of them, because that's a much bigger house.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been trying to get a hold of the owner there, but yeah, that's not a part of it.
So it can work. It's not a deal that's just like, hey, just walk away from it. It's more so a deal that you just got to make sure your numbers are like penciled in really, really good. And then just keep in mind the time that it's going to take to actually like do it and then sell it. Right?
In your opinion, do you think this would be better pitched as like a owner finance? She owns it free and clear,
Okay.
So I'm trying to make the deal sweet for her. She's getting a little irritated because, we did get this in contract a couple of weeks ago, and then bringing it to my lender. He's like, look, you got something there, but I wouldn't be comfortable spending more than maybe 30, 40 grand on the house, considering the other houses on that street haven't been selling,
Right. That's what I'm saying.
He sold one across the street last year for 40 grand, so
yeah. So So everything so I'm glad you're saying that, because everything you're saying, all the details you're backing up what I was saying before. Like, you're gonna end up setting the comp here. So there isn't any guideline that you can follow, as opposed to like, does it make it worth it? Like, should we go ahead and do the deal, or should we change how we're doing the deal? Yeah. I would entertain changing it, maybe kind of see what other options are available. I think in order to do that, though, you got to find out what is it that the seller wants. Like, what do they need that 110 for? Like, are you about to go do something with this? Okay, if not, maybe I can make it a little bit juicier by doing X, Y, and Z, and I can pay you 10, 20,000 more. Or what if I paid you X amount down now, and that kind of give me some more breathing room. But then let them know up front, like the reason why I need that is not because we can't perform, it's because we understand where the market is, and we're being realistic, right? Yeah. And so if we're going to do something, that's how this works.
That's kind of how we've been pitching it. Is like, hey, look, we base our numbers off some older comps, but according to our lenders right now, they're not looking at anything more than 3 months old, and it's really pricing us out. And I want to give you realistic expectations. I don't want you to say, hey, we should be able to get 260 when it's looking like we're probably going to get closer to 180 to 230 tops. So
that's why, I was going to say 190, but yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of where we're at with that. I'm thinking maybe we can kind of use her as the hard money as far as structure some kind of owner finance with a short balloon, maybe some interest-only payments that we can get in there and do the renovation it really needs as far as like the permitting to actually get it as a 4-2 and maybe look as a group home or something, and then eventually be able to refinance against the rent rates.
So I was just gonna say that to you, bro. I was thinking like this would be a really good, because of how much space it has.
Yeah.
Right. Like all this could be parking. This could be a really good group home. The only other thing I would try to pay attention to if it was close to some sort of public transportation. That's always another big thing for group homes. But this would be perfect for a group home if you're able to negotiate that. And that's what I'm saying. So part of this is also, and kind of, I know you know this, but for everybody else who's watching, knowing what the seller needs or wants is probably the most important part of the game, because it allows you to be able to take a different tool out and be like, all right, well, let's do this instead, because it still helps the seller, still gets them to the end goal. Because let's say she was gonna, I'm just giving a wild example. Let's say she's like, well, I was gonna take the money and I was gonna spend, give some money to my family. I was gonna take $20,000 and do that, and then I was just gonna take $5,000 to buy something nice for myself, and then I was gonna put the rest of the money in the bank. Okay, well, what if I gave you $25,000 and I paid you money, paid you some interest on, what the remaining balance is, and now I can get into the property for $25K. Maybe I got to pay her monthly thing, whatever. But what does it really cost me? It's just costing me my monthly spend. And
would you, as a buyer, would you buy that? I mean, that's more than 20% down, on a 120, 115 purchase price,
Yeah, but I would probably be trying to give her something lower to be able to make that make sense.
What you're saying is it really depends on her problem, and you just need to solve the problem.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, let's continue the dialogue on this, outside of this, and, maybe we can squat up on something like this, because it sounds like, you may know some group home people. It's a new space for me, and I'd love to get a buy and hold and maybe refi them out in a while.
Bet. Let's do it.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for locking in with us, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a cool one. I like the weird, dynamic, different ones, because it allows for us to be able to just look at things differently, and that's what you got to do, right? That's why we're good at what we do, is because we're able to solve problems and do it in different ways and different formats. So let's do it. All right, let's look at another one we got here. Hold on a second. All right. All right, so my guy Omar just dropped this in the chat. Omar, can you jump in with us, or you locked up? Might be locked away in the zone making calls. Omar's a straight killer. If you guys don't know him, you definitely want to get to know my guy Omar. I legit can foresee him doing some great things in the marketplace, and people are going to want to connect with him. So get in while it's early. So Mim Street, super popping area. If you know this area, then you can see it right here on the map, actually, right? Like, this is Mosley Park. This is it. This is where everybody go crazy for. And a property like this, let's take a look at the comps. I want to kind of show you. So here's what I was saying about thing. All right, Omar, I got you. Let me send you a link. But here's what I was saying about the remarks, right? Once that agent sleep, look at all these remarks. Literally, let me send my guy Omar a message real quick, and then we're gonna look at these remarks real quick, and then we're gonna look look at these remarks. It's legit gonna blow your mind. Pay attention to this stuff because it helps you understand deals better, helps you underwrite deals better, even when you do or do not have pictures. You want to be able to do that. Hold on 1 second. My baby girl just came in. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this. Let me send this message off. All right, Omar just sent you that. Let me know if you get it. You good? Jump in with us. So what I was saying is, it's super important to be able to, oops, to be able to like go through the information and get the information that you need to give you the details on these type of properties and deals. A lot of times you may not have access to an agent, right? You may not be able to get a hold of them and get some more details. And speed is the name of this game, right? The faster you can be able to come in, make a decisive decision, and make an offer or get to that next step, next stage with your seller, you know you're kicking ass and taking names. I don't know. I don't know what else to say, how else to say it. So let's look at these comments real quick, right? This is property remarks. All right. Let's look at how much wording here is towards the property versus towards the area. All right. So let's take a look. You got Mosley Park investment opportunity. All right. Minutes away from Beltline. Now, they just told us the location, but now they felt the need to tell us more about what's near it. Topgolf and Lee and White Food and all this, like all this right here. All this right here. This whole thing right here has everything to do with everything around the property, but not the property itself. All right. And boom, here's where we get two sentences. No access due to fire damage. House can be salvaged and renovated into a beautiful home. So we already know what this is gonna get us, right? Who here knows, or are we talking light rehab, mid rehab, or full gut? What do you guys think? Let me see it in the chat. What do you guys think? That's right. Heavy on top of heavy. Heavy on top of heavy. Facts, bro. Full gut. Oh, what up, bro?
Hey, how we doing?
Good, good. Full gut. That's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking full gut, right? If I didn't even see the pictures, but I got this information from what the agent put, then I would already know, like, okay, I'm gonna have to come in full gut, right? So,
Hey, how we doing?
oh, you got an echo. You got turn the sound off.
I turned it off.
All right, cool. All right, so, tell me a little bit about this property. What we got going on?
This is a property that was sent to me off of Privy. I looked into it. I did a little preliminary analysis on it. Numbers I came up with, the ARV on it, I'm thinking is around 450.
Okay.
So I did I did submit an offer to the agent yesterday evening.
All right.
So I'm waiting to hear back on that one.
All right, but okay. Well, let's take a look. I actually want to walk through it using your method of how you got 450. So tell me where you want me to do, how you want me to do it.
1 second. So what I did was I used the system, and then you go down to the comps, and then on the investor comps, I tried to use the investor comps so that I have true ARV.
Okay.
And the investor comps that came up for this area is you have that one property at 256 Mathewson. It's at 465. It's slightly smaller than the subject property, with one less bedroom. It's also in the same year built. So I used that one. And then
What was the address?
256 Mathewson Place.
All right, hold on. It's not popping up for us. Let's see. There it is, right here. All right, so you got 465.
Right.
You got square footage, solid. You got lot size. Your property is a bigger lot size, so that's a plus or minus. Does that matter too much, guys and girls? No, it doesn't. It only matters if I'm considering the possibility of being able to build out on this, right? So that's, you can take that into consideration, but it doesn't really matter until you start getting into, like, you know, you got some land on there, then that matters. 2-bedroom, no, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Our property is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 1940 built. So one of the main things I would do, and then it sold in February. So now here's the thing. This sold in February. So I'm already going to look at this like, all right, hold on, because this sold when everybody was hyped up on that Mountain Dew. So is this really the right price point to say that, hey, if I come in and fix a property, I can get 465 in today's market? It may not be the case, but thankfully, Omar didn't just use this one comp. So that's one thing. The other thing is, let's look at the proximity to this property. So what's that? 465. Where is that?
It's 0.13 miles
right
away.
There. Perfect. So you see it on the map, right? And I wanted to show it on the map because we want to make sure that, because it could have been 3 miles or whatever mile away, and it was right here, right? So you want to make sure you're not crossing major streets and major highways. So we really right here in this market, and you guys see this like hella activity over in this price. All right, so that checks out, but we're gonna put an asterisk by that because we know that sold back in February. What's the other comp you were using?
The one 179 Wellington Street.
All right, right here.
Yeah.
So for 425,
right.
Year built 1940, perfect. 3-bedroom. This is even better with the bedrooms. Square footage, all right. So these lot sizes are a little bit smaller, as we can see from our property. What is the square footage on this property?
That one I wasn't able to pull up on this platform, but I believe it was 1,100. I believe. I don't have my other piece of paper. I had all of that written down on.
Okay, all right. So we'll go with your concept of it for 1,100 right now. You probably looked it up on Zillow or something, and you got that. So now, where is this in relations to our property? So let's go up here, look for Wellington Street, 425.
It's a quarter mile away. It's to the left of
right.
465.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So far looking good. So we got 2 good comps so far. Let's see, when was this sold?
That was sold in December.
In December. Again, hot market time in December. Right. So we got to put an asterisk on it. So guys, this is like another really good example. Shout out to all you guys bringing in examples, going out here, getting the job done, and bringing in deals that you currently work on. Because this is a really good example of understanding where the market was just literally a few months ago versus where it is today. Now, if we can't find any more recent comps, are we still going to use these as comps? Absolutely. But we're going to deduct at least 8%. They tell you anywhere between 5 to 10%. I'm telling you, do 8% or more until you can really get a better scope of the market. So what's your last comp that you use?
It's not really a comp. There's something that's pending. 189
right
scene. Yeah, that 189 scene at 499.
Yep, I was looking at that. So that's
I didn't really use it. I just had my eye on it.
now where is that window? Let's see where we can find that on.
It's a little bit further out. It's less than a half a mile away. But the build was 1920.
So it's even older build.
Right.
So in pockets like this, I would want to make sure I really figure out where this property is at, right? And I'm gonna tell you why if I can find it. Where's that street at? All right, so here's why I wanted to look this property up in general. Because, all right, so this is perfect. So our property is right here somewhere, right? It's on this street over here. No, it's right here. It's on Mims. This 499 property that's currently pending is right here. Let's zoom in real quick. I want to kind of see. All right, now this is really good detail to be able to get because in Atlanta, you have some streets that is straight fire. Like every house on that street is large numbers, is going up, right? And then you'll have a neighboring street that is straight boo boo. Like you trying to figure out how did this street get this way versus how the other street get this way. This property here, you got one house that sold for 400. Oh no, sorry, it's listed for 400. You got this one that sold for 369. This one is pending for 499. So what I would be doing now is I would be going into the pictures, right? I'll be trying to pay attention, like, okay, well, why is this one even pending for 500,000? Let's take a look. All right. It looks great. You can tell they did all the bells and whistles in this thing. And this is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. What I would want to do is, and if you could, Omar, can you double check what this square footage is?
Square footage.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm double checking that is because they got a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. I want to see if our property has the same square footage, because then that means we could put a 4-bedroom, 3-bath in ours too. Now, if the square footage is bigger than ours, then that means we're going to have to add on square footage typically in order to be able to get that 4.3 if we want to get this into that 500K price range. Some great land on there. Got a little back. Great. Good job. Beautiful. And this is pending, so we're not going to count it, but it is what it is.
Nothing there.
All right, so our property is 1094. And we know ours is going to be a full gut. What do you guys think the
1255 is the square foot on the Racine.
1255?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so far we got 465. And then we did the 425. And you also did Mims, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's add those three together. So 465 plus 425 plus 390 divided by 3. So far we're sitting at 426. Let's see if these got pictures. I'm gonna take a look.
You use 390?
Yeah, I just got 390. What'd you get?
For I used the
No, no,
465, the 425, and then if you wanted to throw the pending in there, that's the 499.
no. I can't use a pending.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. So you can't use pending in your comps. It's
Which I did.
pending. You didn't do that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so what did you get as the ARV?
Um, I got I took the average of those two, the 465, 425, kind of split it, and I came up with 450.
Okay, why didn't you take this one?
The 390, is that the one you pulling up? 11511 Mem Street.
Yeah.
I didn't use it because it let me look. I didn't. It wasn't an investor property so much, so I didn't see it because it was purchased. The first time it was purchased was in 18, so I stayed away from that one. But you could use the 490. That's fine. I mean the 399. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. So I would use it because it recently sold on that. Because what we're looking at here
Same
is
street.
these, huh?
Same street.
Yeah, same street. What we're looking, it's probably down the street though. But what we're looking at here, like all the other two, um, they were also properties that were sold on the market. They weren't necessarily like brought like this one right here. This was brought as a flip. You see what I'm saying? Like it was a 2-1, they turned into a 3-2. It recently just sold. Well, it's trying to sell. I'm just say it's act. So you see, and they got it for they got it at 330, which is kind of surprising. So let's take a look at that and kind of see why this isn't selling. So this is really good, and this is why I love Privy for that, right? So we came out with an ARV of 465. Well, no, sorry. The ARV that I had got was 426.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a property, an investor came in. If it sold, it would have been a comp, but an investor came in and they turned it to a 3-2, works as good. Why is this not selling? And why is it not even being listed for 400 price range? They were at 360 and they brought it down 30K. Well, let's go inside and take a look. The outside looks meh. All right, this is why. So, Omar, in your property that you're looking at, if you're thinking about doing an upgrade like this, then you can't use the ARV of 426. Your ARV got to be in the 300s. Because you see, this guy's having a hard time selling the 330. Right? So it depends on what type of work you're going to do. What's the scope of work that you're going to do? If you're going to try to bring in and make it look like that other property we saw that sold for 465, then yeah, but then you're going to put in a lot more money on your rehab.
All right.
Make sense? So just because we're doing a full gut doesn't necessarily mean, we're going all the way with it, right? You could do a full gut and still do this, or you could do a full gut and do like the other two properties and make 100K difference. I mean, a lot of stuff coming to play there. How good are your crews? What do you plan on doing? All those things matter in making sure you're buying at the right price. So with that information, because you're gonna spend easily 100 something on the rehab on this.
Yeah, right.
Right. So it kind of just depends on your buyer. I would say to be conservative, especially in this market, rather than let's go with the 400 price range. So I would say, I would do a price. I would have a range as far as my ARV on this one because I can't in good conscience trust 400 price point range right now. Right. This been listed for 29
Almost a
days.
month. Almost a month.
Almost a month, and they just changed the thing not too long ago. Well, they've been changed it.
And they changed them on the 24th. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, I wouldn't trust. Right now, I can't even trust 330 if I'm going to do this. Now, if I know I'm going to do top shelf, right? Then it'd be different. So let's do this. Let's say my ARV is 400 grand because I'm about to do top shelf. All right. Square footage was like 1100.
11, yeah.
All right, let's call it 1200. And
1090.
we're gonna how much was it?
1094.
All right, and we're gonna go bells and whistles on this one. Do you think we need foundation issues on that?
He didn't mention that. I did speak to the agent. He didn't mention that.
Okay. All right. And how much are they selling this property for again?
They're asking 198.
198. Okay. So I would, if we're at 400K, I would probably come in at like 135 on a conservative side. If I'm thinking I could come in and sell it for 400,000. If I'm thinking I'm probably going to sell it for, 315, I'll probably come in at
about 100.
Yeah, I was gonna say 104. Yeah,
about 100.
I'll probably come in there, right? So that's how you play the game, right? And you see, all we did is sit down and assess this thing for a good 15 minutes. And did you see how much information that we got from using these tools? It's not just about like, all right, cool, punch the number in, give me the ARV, and I'm good to go, make the offer. Now, because if you're making an offer, the agent or the seller has the right to say, why you offering me that? And you gotta be able to back it up. But you gotta back it up with like actual facts, right? Because mostly everybody else that's gonna give them an offer, they're not gonna back it up with facts. They're just gonna be like, this is what I can pay. Or this what my investor, my partner said we're gonna pay, just boom. But they don't have no reasoning of why they can do it. Now, if you really want to be fancy, I would take this. Are you plan on wholesaling this, right? Or you want to take it down? All right. So I would take this and I would go to my top 5 buyers, right? I know O sends me a lot of deals, so take it to your next 4 buyers that you have. And I say, hey, I'm looking at this deal. It's listed, but I can get it much cheaper. Here's what I'm thinking. If we could sell it for 400K, I would want to get it at this price. And I'm thinking we're spending like 100 in rehab. If we can sell it for 315, we can do a smaller rehab, but we can get it at this price. Now, why am I doing that? Because I want one of my cash buyers to be like, yeah, if you can get that at that price, I'll buy it. So now Omar could walk through and be like, hey, what's up? Like, I got the money backing it. You know what I mean? Like it's like when you think of it, like when you do it that way, it's like going out on a Friday afternoon after you got paid. And you walk into the mall and you're like, it's whatever. Like, you know what I mean? If you got your girl with you or your man or you got your kids and they're like, oh, can I get this? Whatever. Get whatever you like. You know, it's nothing to me. Right? But if they wanted to go out with you on like a Tuesday on the off week, you'd be like, whoa, you know what I mean? We gotta wait till payday, right? Having your cash buyer already agree to what they will pay for the property before you go put the offer in is like getting paid on a Friday before you go to the mall. That's how you want to be able to approach these sellers, these agents, when you're making them offers, and you know for a fact it's gonna fly each and every time because you know why it should be at that price point. And you got to sell a buyer who agrees with that and is willing to get the deal if you can get it at that right price. Make sense?
100%.
But I'm glad.
I appreciate that. What you showed me about that chickamauga, however you say that word.
Yeah, you see, I didn't even try it, right? You see, I was just like, oh, you didn't use this? You didn't use this one? Oh, all right, yeah.
But yeah, I never even You know, I never even thought about that, but that's a powerful tool as far as comping. Um, yeah, because I made an offer at 170, so I'm probably a little over, but they haven't accepted. I haven't even heard from him
Yeah,
concerning it, so I know that they're probably waiting to see if they can get more. Um,
yeah. Which is part of the game. Which is why we our job is to make a bunch of offers. That's it. We don't worry about anything else. As long as you're making the right offer, just keep going. Make a bunch of right offers all day long, and common sense and timing and everything is going to start to fall in place. And the seller or the agent's going to hit you back and be like, "Did you still want to do this deal?" And now that's when the negotiation comes into place. Because now it's like, yeah, but you know what I mean? Because you don't want to sound too thirsty. Omar, did you want to do it if we can do it at 170? Yeah, let's do it. No, I don't sound that thirsty, right? Because they be
right.
like, because the agent gonna be like, yo, he really wants this deal. I think we can get him to come up. You know what I'm saying? You know your numbers, you know what they need to be at. So you gotta make sure you present it in that way so you can get the deal done, make everybody happy, and you move on. All right.
100%. Appreciate it.
All right, most def, most def. So listen, I hope everybody enjoyed this, man. If you could do me a favor, take a screenshot, send this out, post it online, tag me, let people know what we're doing. We're gonna grow this bigger and better. It's gonna be dope each and every time. And more importantly, remember the things we talked about in the beginning of making sure that you get yourself into the game, right? If you're not able to like yet get yourself in a position where you're making the type of money that you're making, don't be sitting here looking like my man Alpacho over here with the angry face. Like, get involved in the game. There's three main places you can play right now with little to no experience. You can be a person that comps properties for people and make a bunch of money that way. And that way you'll get in the door to learning how to underwrite deals. And trust me, you can make a bunch of money underwriting deals for people, being part of that team. You can come through and be an individual who learns how to do creative financing. It's the best part of real estate. It's the best part of life. I mean, legit, I try to buy everything creative financing. I don't care where I'm at. Starbucks, Walmart, Target, like, look, can I, were you willing to take terms? Like, that's really what I'm about right now because there's just so much benefit to it. And then the third thing that you want to be able to do is, what's the third thing? Who remember the third thing? Let's see. Three ways to get in real estate. Who got it? Who got it? Who got it? First is comping. Second is creative financing. That's right. Lead manager. Lead manager. Third is becoming a lead manager for a company. A lead manager is like a step above being a cold caller. Cold caller is a person that says, hey, are you looking to sell? Boom. All right, perfect. Yeah, let me send you over to my manager, right? Or send you over to the acquisitions. Lead manager is the person that is filtering those deals. They get as a lead manager, you're getting the experience of how to be able to become a closer, which is the best part of this. And you can do it for free while you learn the game and earning money. So if you want to get into this game, I recommend taking one of those three routes. If not, then keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully it's working for you. But with all that being said, thank you for tuning in. Another episode of Compin Atlanta. This was episode 7. I'll see you guys next week for episode 8, where we may have a guest on. I haven't got it down packed yet as far as which guests we're gonna do because we're getting so much. But I got a banger. I got a couple bangers. I'm trying to map it all out for everybody to have their time to shine. So it's gonna be great. Love you all. Thanks for showing up. Stay focused. And my last thing I want to tell you guys is just make sure you are consistently showing up every day and you will win. Stay charged up. Peace, y'all.